If you guys haven't heard by now, yeah, this is the Nick Frazier podcast, and you're getting the best genuine content out there. Right, fellas?
It's true. Agreed.
And welcome back to another episode of the Nick Frazier podcast. And this is not like the normal podcast I do. Normally I'm giving out some good lines, some who's going to win this game, who's going to win that game. We have my boy Jar comes on the pod every now and then. He co-hosts.
Okay.
You know, just every now and then. Got Trey on every now and then. Big Kev. But people that don't know, this is Jeremy Darvin, former defensive tackle of Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, a part of their wonderful season this year. This guy played 6 years for the Hilltoppers, a well-seasoned vet, knows his football. I was fortunate enough to play with him in high school. And let's just say practice was fun for the most part. He didn't kill me. So, I mean, I'm still here, right?
You still standing? That's a good thing.
Exactly. Well, Jeremy, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, bro. I'm truly honored, man. This is fun. Like, this is love, bro.
Hey, all love. I love it, man. I love it. Well, have you ever been on a podcast before? You ever done like interviews like this?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, other than like after practice with, Western and nothing outside of, Western. So that's what I'm saying. This is my first one. This is dope, bro.
Okay. So have you watched any type of podcast like, Raw Room or like I Am Athlete type deal, stuff like that?
Yeah. I definitely tune in to I Am Athlete as much as I can. What's another? I watched a few podcasts, but I Am Athlete is one of the ones I probably follow the most.
Yeah, they got good content, man. I don't see how you can't love it.
Especially, just having, players just sit back and just talk about it. It varies from everything. That's what another thing I like about it is it can be football or it can be life. It can be whatever. But, just having those, familiar faces on the TV and you see on the field actually just get into detail and see what type of people they are. That's pretty cool to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just, to me, when I wanted to start a podcast, it was the fact that, me being short, five foot nothing, basically. And I mean, I'm not no size of a Jeremy Darvin. Yeah, I get to play football at the next level, but man.
I wish I was a little bit tall. I want to be 6'4", but I mean, I guess I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I started the podcast is because, I would sit in high school with you and I'm not with you in, film sessions because you're with the defense. I'm with offense running stuff. And I'm just sitting there just looking at film and I'm taking it all in, and I'm like, well, I just can't play at the next level because of my size. So why not start a podcast where I can kind of, delve into the mindset of a football player and stuff like that. And kind of like how I Am Athlete does it,
Yeah. And that's genius. I mean, that's genius. And
you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Jerem, we're going to get on into it here. I just want to pick your mind about this. This is more the NFL draft series I'm doing for my own brand. And I just wanted you to be number one on the list because personally, it's a personal goal of mine to, cover some friends that I've, played with throughout the years and you being one of them, which is perfect. So starting out at Western, you came in as a 3-star recruit, obviously out of Father Ryan and number 2 D tackle in the state. Do you know who was above you? It's okay. No need. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I
think it may, if any names came to mind, I think only person I can think of is Brandon Adams.
Okay.
Big B from BA, man.
Yeah. And you know what? People can fact check because I don't care. They can go look at it. That's the whole point of the podcast. They just consuming what we hear, Wow. So Big Brandon Adams, man. It seemed like everybody out of BA at that time was just going to the league.
Crazy, man. And rest in peace, Brandon. He ended up passing away a couple years ago. So shout out to Big B, man. Definitely was fun watching him at BA. Not when we played him, God, because he was bigger than me. Oh my goodness! But just seeing him, just like myself, go to college and have success. I mean, it's great to see people from the city, go on to the next level and able to continue that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the recent track history of BA, it's Jalen Ramsey who's going into the Super Bowl 56. Like,
yeah, yeah, and let's see, they put out a lot of people. Ramsey, Derek Barnett for the Eagles. Yeah,
yep.
I mean, they got some guys.
Indeed. And you know what? You you're gonna be one of those guys out of the Ville, possibly.
You see what I'm saying? We need to start a little Father Ryan train. Somebody, yeah.
You got Jawan out there. He's up there.
We got Jawan. We need more. We need more, man.
Hey, if there's a way you can get me on a fitness program, Jeremy, I'll go out there. I'll be a little muscle 5'4". I'm cool with it.
Get a little fullback package in there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. So you came in as a 3-star recruit coming into Western Kentucky. What kind of made you persuade the idea of going to Western, not staying in state or going maybe up north or way out west?
Yeah. And that was a question I got a lot. And one thing for me was growing up, I really didn't have a college team per se. Like neither my parents went to college, so I didn't have that already bought in, fanship, the fandom of having a team and stuff like that. So when it was time to come pick, it was really easy for me because I didn't have any prior, love for a team or anything like that. And another thing that went into my commitment was being close to home. I've been a big home guy, big family guy. So my mom's been to every single one of my games since I was 5. So, I mean, I didn't want to go too far where that would change. And so I was thinking to maybe like the 4-hour range, anywhere within 4 hours, or an opportunity in a state that was great. Florida, Cali, you can't beat that. So
exactly.
I didn't get any offer from those states, but no, for real though, I definitely want to stay close to my family and friends back at home so they can come see me play in person.
Exactly. Now, I just have to pick your brain a little bit, going into this recruiting process and picking schools and Western being one of those schools. Did the big market Power 5 schools ever persuade you like, oh, maybe I should just walk on type deal? Like, did that ever like cross your mind? Maybe go to Ole Miss or maybe like a UT type deal, or no?
Well, what's crazy that you say that, because Tennessee was actually my first offer in high school. And so when I got that offer, I was like, oh, okay. Usually I didn't know how the recruiting process worked. That was my first one. So my trainer was telling me, usually they'll roll in, usually they'll start coming in. So I was like, okay. And, that came junior year, like middle of junior year. So that was a surprise to me that them, and then after that one, that's when I start to, you gain traction from all the other schools and the lower level schools. But as far as big schools goes, like Tennessee was only the real one. And their offer was, one of those that, okay, yeah, we seen you play, because they came out and were watching kids from BA, the 2 tackles they had that year. And I played pretty well. So that's how I got that one. But it was still, one of those that, oh, this kid's actually good. He might be a sleeper, but wasn't, a full out hard sale offer. So as far as walking on, I was just going to go anywhere that wanted me, honestly. So any school, no matter the level, that was going to give me a chance to play football, I was going to go do it, because that's all I wanted to do. I didn't care about the level, honestly.
That's the best quality I love about you, Jeremy, is that you're just out there to play and you let your play talk for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, and that, as a football player, the type of player and person I am, I feel like that's how it should be, And it was definitely. Now I did take visits to a bunch of the big schools, because after I got to Tennessee, there were a lot of interests. So I went to Kentucky, Mississippi State, was talking to me a little bit, and just a few other schools. But like I said, nothing hard sell. But my main thing also going into the recruiting process was winning. I also want to go somewhere that had a winning program, had a winning history, because our share at Father Ryan, it was definitely fun, but some seasons were a lot better than others. And so I just wanted
3-8, 3 something like that.
Yeah. Come on, bro. So it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to go somewhere where I could definitely, get in the winning process. And at the time, Western had actually won the conference championship my senior year. And so with them being so close, I was able to go up there a little bit more frequently and watch them play. And every game I went to, they were killing teams. I mean, I went up to the middle game that year, my senior year in high school, and that's supposed to be the rival, and they had put it on them pretty good that year. And usually every year, even when I got here, it's usually a pretty good game. So I saw those performances. Then they went and beat Southern Miss that year in the conference championship, and I was like, hey, there it is. And then I get up there my first year and we win conference, and I was like, this is what I wanted. This is this is it right here.
Yeah. So let's kind of segue into that, because you wanted to go to a winning program. And when you got you there your freshman year, it was like a whole 180. Like y'all weren't winning as many games. Like it just like the program kind of plummeted for a little bit. And then just this past season, it went skyrocket right back up to Conference USA championship.
So my first year up there, I had redshirted that year, and with a lot of these young cats, because I'm the old head around the locker room now, apparently. But when I was a freshman, the rule was when you redshirted, you couldn't play one single snap. Like, so if you play one snap, you could have did kickoff. Your redshirt was broken. And so that year was very hard for me because, you go from senior year high school, you're the guy, you're the big recruit, you're this, you're that. But then you got to start all back over again at a new place with better players around you, and you're competing against even on your own team. And so I would say Ryan did a good job of that as well, preparing me, because I didn't start varsity my sophomore year there. And a few people thought I should have, but I didn't. That was the reality. The coaches didn't seem I was ready yet. And I played, though, my sophomore year, but I think that kind of helped prepare me for that college level of getting there and have to sit down there and waiting that year and just soaking it in and getting information from the other guys and just learning and just honestly just getting better with my technique.
So who really kind of mentored you when you were an underclassman up there in Western your first couple of years?
Oh man, we had countless amount of guys. Chris Johnson was one of the guys that I really liked. Omar Bryant, he's the guy that had some NFL success. And then, as I started was getting to that middle, I'm not a young guy anymore, but I'm not an old head either.
Yeah.
We had guys. Evan Sainer was a guy that was always around. Big Jew, Julian Lewis. And then when it was my time to come up, we had it was me, Jalen George, Jalen Madden. We became those young kids now, and it was our turn to take over the reign when those guys left.
Yeah, and they left it in good hands with you guys. That's what it's.
Yeah, hey. A lot of good. I mean, that success, like I said, you win a championship my senior year, and then I come in and we won in my red shirt year. We won conference again, and I'm just looking like we got to keep this thing going,
Yeah. Because didn't Western's head coach leave your freshman or sophomore year and go to Purdue?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So after my first year up here, Coach Brom had got a job offer at Purdue. He's still up there at Purdue, and he's having success up there still. So
the spoiler makers, as some people.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That offense he's got, man. It's always people love to see it. I mean, it's genius, like brilliant. So I credit to him.
So let's kind of a little track back here. So your freshman year, not really being able to play any snaps because you're red shirt, just in scout team and stuff. Did that really kind of mess with your brain a little bit? Have to really strategize what to go through, gap contain and stuff?
Oh my. Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing with college, especially our defense, was gap sound, being aligned right, executing right, everything is right. Because if you do one simple mistake, high school, and our division was pretty good. We had some, some stellar athletes, but college is just, the level is up a little bit more because you got your gap, a guy can take it to the house for 40. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I would constantly preach to any kid going into college that scout team is going to determine what type of player you are throughout your career. Because I took that time and I really was focusing in on my game. Some people can get pouted out, they're not playing, but you can be pouted out in that whole year. You're not taking it as serious. And that's a year of football. Like, yeah, you're working out, you're physically there, but you didn't get as good as you could have. And so I was just glad that I was mature enough and, just humble enough to just take advantage of that opportunity, because it really helped me shape me into the player I was, because technique was just something that I was always a very strong player, but my technique, using my hands, was one thing that I struggled with. And so that was where I could focus in on that in a controlled environment against great guys. I mean, we had my freshman year of scout team, we had a amazing O-line. I mean, we won a conference. So we had a Forrest Lamp, was the highest, draft pick that in WKU history at the time. We had Diesel. He went down. He had a little career with I want to say the Rams and the Bucks. He had spent some time in the NFL. And center Max Halpin, he was a former walk-on, but turned in and had a great career at wrestling and finished up, two-time champion. I mean, that group of guys we had at the O-line was stellar that year. B. Ray Davis, Big Dennis. I mean, all those guys were conference guys.
Yeah.
So I credit to them, whooping up on my young ass a little bit, helping me getting ready for the big boys.
Shape you up right, huh?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's kind of where I want to go more into is, as you progressed into maturing as a defensive tackle for the team and, just starting to become a leader as you progress through the ranks. I'm looking here on my notes at year 2. You had like we were talking before we started the podcast, was your game at Wisconsin. Like, I always tell people, and I said this in another series that I'm doing, this music series on the podcast, that I like to watch my friends from afar, even though I may not be reaching out to them like majority of the time, because in my opinion, like, I don't know why it is, but I feel like I'm intruding on their privacy if I just reach out to them. So like, I don't mind. That's why I go on social media every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. For sure.
So like I keep my distance a little bit, but like as for you, like I reached out every now and then. Like if you posted something, like there was something this past season, you did like some sort of skit. You're like, man, I'm just now getting on social media. I died laughing. I was like,
hey, everybody loved that one, bro. Everybody loves that one.
It showed your personality, man. It truly did. But going back here to this Wisconsin game, you remember that pretty vividly?
Yes, bro. That was my first start in college football. So
going up against number 4 Wisconsin.
And then if I'm not mistaken, bro, they had three of their guys, maybe even more, that were on that O-line that year are in the NFL. A couple of those guys were draft guys. So, I mean, just that was a welcome to college football for sure. Those guys were huge. But the thing that got me was not only were they huge, like I knew mentally going in that they were big. So I was working all offseason on, being strong, being big, being immovable. But the thing that shocked me out there playing was how fast they were. And I was like, dude, like if you come off and you didn't use your hands, and they were long as well. They, stick an arm out there.
That extension.
And you're double reach so fast. And like, since they're so long, they got, great stride and steps. I mean, you have to be perfect, or it could be, and then they had Taylor at running back.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying? So
I gotta get your perspective. What is that like, man? What was that like to experience it?
Bro, so like it's crazy because it's something with me. Like I feel like I enjoy the moment to the fullest.
Yeah.
But I don't really understand the magnitude of it at the time because like
you're not starstruck.
Yeah, you're not, and Jonathan Taylor was a great running back going into the year. We all knew that, but I didn't know. I wasn't really big into college football anyway. And so I didn't really know too much about him. But like I said, that offseason I did. But I mean, turning around and seeing the success he's having now, I mean, playing against him, I'm like, that's no news to me anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
like I'm well prepared.
Before I had no prior knowledge. So I didn't know, like I knew that they were a good team and they had a good program historically, but you never know what you're walking into until you get there.
That's true. That is very true. But the atmosphere, though, besides Jonathan Taylor and the line, like you were, what was your initial feeling? Like, was it cold that game or no? Was it mid-August?
No, it was first game of the season.
Yeah, so, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's warm out there. It was actually good. You know what? I don't even know if you want to call this weird or I guess it's a compliment, but they had some of the nicest fans in college football.
Really?
To us anyway. To Western they were, but all their fans were like, "Hey guys, welcome to Camp Randall." We were like okay, like we thought they were gonna be, talking trash to us or something like that. That's what we respect. And they were like, good game, guys. Like that. We were like, what in the world? This is different.
Where are we?
But bro, just the atmosphere. So they weren't even started schools yet when we played that game, and it still was a packed house. I mean, slammed. First game of the season, Big Ten. So you know how it goes. It was just so surreal, like being out there and like just on the field looking around, and you seeing all those people coming to watch you play at the end of the day. I mean, so
True.
it was amazing, bro. And then they got the jump around thing going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was dope. That was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. Like usually I don't try to give too many teams, credit about stuff, but come on now. That was pretty dope right there. That was one of the best college experiences I had right there.
Really? So out of your 6 years you played, that stands out of majority of them?
That was special to me because the atmosphere, and then my first sack against a Big Ten team.
That's true.
I think, and I believe we were the first game of the season. Like that was just dope. That night my phone was blowing up. Like I go back to my phone after the game, like everybody in my dang call log called me or text me, saying I saw you. So that was honestly pretty cool.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at my notes. You didn't only just have a sack; you had a forced fumble and a fumble recovery.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Did you forget about that?
What? Wait, no, that game?
Yeah, that's what I got here.
That was that was the next game.
Okay.
Yeah, the next. I got off to a fast start, bro. It was a fast start like that year for me. Like it was great. And but it was honestly talking about that fast start, and then like I said, the technique piece.
Mm-hmm.
So after that game, I believe I had got benched for a couple games. Just don't know why, but I'm just a guy. Just coach, just tell me the problem and I'll get it fixed. Like,
right,
I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm not gonna cry about it. Just let me know, what happened. Which, I mean, it was confusing to me because if you look at the production and the stat sheet, I was one of the interior guys that was making plays.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, I was making plays, yes, but was I helping the team with my performance and being aligned in the sign? And that was something I had to realize, a couple years after I got older, I was like, okay, now I see what they're saying. Like, even though that play didn't specifically hit through my gap or affect me, it could have clouded the linebackers read or the safeties read and made it harder on them. And that's how it popped for 20 yards instead of 8. You know what I'm saying?
Like you alluded to earlier, like if you miss one gap, like one dude could cut back and run it from 40 to the crib.
I mean, these dudes are top tier athletes. No matter, and college football nowadays is just getting so great all over. Like, no matter who you play, bro, they're gonna have somebody that could take it to the house on you. So you gotta be careful.
That's true. And carrying on after that game, like you had a very successful year 2 for the most part. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, looking at my notes here, you recorded like 10 total tackles on the year. And then the next year you recorded like 22 for year 3. Like, take me through that. How does that work for you? Like, obviously you're progressing and maturing year by year, but how does the consistency stay there for you? Like, you were really tearing it up on the field.
Yeah, bro. It was just, I mean, it's the way I credit, I don't know who, my mom, all my coaches I've ever had, all my teammates. And then at the end of the day, my trainers and stuff. And then at the end of the day, myself, because it's you at the end of the day that's putting the work in. But bro, I just took everything with intent. You know what I'm saying? Whether starting from the offseason to the weight room, I didn't take any reps off because I knew if I take these reps off, there's somebody else somewhere, doing X, Y, Z, and he maybe even doing extra. You know what I'm saying? So I've got to start. I've got to start early on my opponents because I'm not the biggest guy of them all. Even though I'm very strong, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, and I'm not the strongest at the end of the day. So I had to have and find some type of edge to keep me going and to keep me on my toes. And that's what it was. And I think it just comes from my whole career. I believe I've always been a good player, but I've been one of those good players that's, kind of on the brink. Like, you play me and you're like, oh snap, this guy's good, but not one of those, oh my gosh, like that dude right there. And so I always wanted to be the best though. And so that was able to just keep me going and keep me focused.
Yeah, I like that. That's like I mentioned earlier, like I love that quality about you, that you kept this mature but yet consistent mindset, and that you just let your work on the field that you put in the weight room and the off season, you let all that work talk for you when the season starts and when it progresses through. And that's the best quality I love about you, because like we're talking now, you're very cordial, you're very, well-mannered, and like people need to realize that going into the draft process, because that, like, if you look in seasons past and drafts past, like there have been a few players that have ruined their draft stock because of the antics
field,
done off the field, you know?
I mean, and especially now nowadays with social media and all this stuff, like, I mean, you can do anything. I would credit one thing I do remember, and I will remember for the rest of my life, is our athletic director, Todd Stewart, told us football will never leave you. You know, you could leave here, you know, Saturday night after a game, you know, go out and party, but the symbol never leaves you. It'll always be with you. You know what I'm saying? You're at the end of the day, you're a student athlete. So whatever you do, no matter if it's at home, if it's, you know, off campus at a party, anywhere, you're going to be represented as an athlete. So a lot of guys got to keep that in mind, that, you know, it's not just, you know, I'm not just a regular person per se, I guess. You know, I have a little bit more eyes on me because of what I do.
How, tell me if you can, if not, don't worry, we can skip to the next thing. But how, I guess the best way to put it, how difficult was it when you go out in the limelight or go out to, you know, get some groceries or something, you get recognized by people, and just the temptation of just hanging out with people other than your normal, like, circle of group of people? How difficult was that to manage throughout the season?
I think for me, it was pretty, to me, it was pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but I was able to manage it pretty well.
A normal, sufficient amount, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, bro, my main goal was football. I'm a football guy, like, through and through. I will play until they tell me I can't play no more. So anything that would have stopped or hindered that process, I wasn't even gonna go for it at all. I wasn't gonna partake in it. So it was kind of easy for me. But I mean, sometimes, you know, you get immersed in situations that, you know, you didn't know what was going to happen. So anytime, I just tried to definitely keep myself, watch the people you're around. You know, always try to surround yourself with good guys, because you do a good job of that. I mean, you know, birds of a feather flock together. So you'll be in pretty good company.
I love that. I love it. Man. And obviously I've known you for a good bit of time, and you're just a well-shaped young man. And there's just, all I can say about you is good things, brother. That's all I can say about you. So carrying on to year 4, we're getting there. We're almost at the end of the
a long journey, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, you were playing college ball for a good bit. I mean, you got hurt. I mean, I know you got hurt this past season, but in previous seasons you got hurt, right? Year 3?
So let's see. It was year 3. It was an ankle injury. So I had we played Army here in Bowling Green, and I had a linebacker and one of their players fall on the back of my ankle while I was running to the ball, and high ankle sprain. And so I was actually battling through that the whole season. Like, I was practicing and still playing. Like, I didn't play those next 2 to 3 games just because of the pain, and I wasn't, you know, myself.
Right.
But I was still, you know, trying to stay at it as much as I can for the team, because I know they needed me. I mean, we were going into conference play, and so we're opening up with our 2 biggest conference foes in FAU and Marshall, and I have a high ankle sprain. So I was like, Coach, I don't know if I'll be able to play, but I'm going to do everything in my power to be out there for the guys, because I know they need me. And so that was tough for me going through that, but I was able to recover later on in the year, come back. I had a great game against Southern Miss at the end of that year. That was a coming out party. Had a sack and a half. Was just all over the place. And bro, ended up that next week we were playing middle. Crazy enough, that next week we were playing middle, and it's about 4 or 5 weeks out. So I'm starting to get back to almost normal, but it's still not all the way there. You know what I'm saying? And it was raining one day. We get out of practice pretty quick. I go home, walk my dog, slip and fall, bro. Try to catch myself, and when I go to catch myself, I ended up just wiping out and broke my leg. It finally gave out on me. So yeah, I had broke my fibula down at the bottom, and just a severe ankle sprain. And I ended up doing the same surgery that Tua did that year. So it wasn't nothing too crazy, but I guess it was.
Dang, man, that's crazy. it's crazy to look at it because at the beginning of things, you're like, oh, it can't be too bad. But yet, when you get the results, you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up, I got help. Robert Crawford was
Yeah,
my
Big
roommate at
Rob.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Big Rob came down there, helped me up. And I ended up walking up the stairs on my own and, getting up stuff together. So I'm like, all right, I'll probably just retweaked it. Like, I'll go in the morning. And I called the trainers and let them know. I said, I'll go in the morning. They're going to tell me, all right, yeah, you're good. And lo and behold, I broke my leg and I was like, and like you said, like that year it was like every game was getting better.
It was getting better and better.
Yeah, and so it was just so frustrating not to finish those last 2 games of the season, bro. And it was just disheartening. And in the bowl game too, I couldn't play in the bowl game, so that it just sucked.
Were you able to travel for the bowl game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, even though you're hurt, they still let you travel. So
But you gotta enjoy it, right?
Yeah, that was all good, I guess. But
man, but hey, you just mentioned Robert Crawford, man. I mean, obviously we all played together in high school. What was that like for you to be able to play with somebody you played with in high school, but on the same team in college? Give me that experience.
Oh man, it was dope. I honestly wish he would have came sooner. Like I wish he was up here before me, but it was pretty dope, man. Like, because, we played D-line together in high school. And so just to have him back around, it was just like, oh, yeah. And I knew what type of player he was. I knew Big Rob. And so when he actually had walked on and earned a scholarship, I want to say like a year later. Mm-hmm. But, everybody's asked me, oh, so, how is he? Da, 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 da. I was like, we got us a dog. Like, I'm just letting people know. And he got up here and, he was that,
Yeah, no kidding. He picked up right where he left off in high school.
Just another strong player, and it carried over from high school, like, because a lot of times in high school, like, the weight room we have at Ryan was amazing. So me, him, Vegas, Marcus, Juwan, we'd all go in and just lift anytime we could. Big Bryce, anytime we could, we lift up and get a lift in. And so it was kind of like a, reminiscent coming back to me. And he ended up being my roommate as well. So we got an apartment together. So yeah, it was cool having one of your boys. It was like having your boys come play with you.
Yeah. So how did that happen? He just call you up one day like, hey, I'm transferring? Because he was at TSU, right? Playing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So like, he was at one TSU. Day just call you up or what?
Yeah. So he was there. Let's see. I want to say it was like my second year. He had kind of texted me, was like, hey, I was thinking about, getting up out of here and, transferring west. And I was like, come on. Like, if you're going to do that, come on. Didn't know what the situation was down at TSU, but if you weren't happy and you want to continue your football career here, Western's a great place for it. Great place for it. So I was all, I told him at the end of the day, it's your decision. Mm-hmm. Whatever he wanted to pick, and that's what he wanted, and I think it was good for him.
Oh yeah, I definitely. It made everybody happy. So, oh man, that and carrying on with that, like having that energy, being able to play with somebody you play with back in high school, in college, and then carrying it over into the following season of the offseason, because he came in the same year you hurt your leg, right?
What's that? God, I've been here so long. I'm
running together.
I can't even. Yeah,
I think it was an overlap a little bit.
So he was there. That's when he was on scholarship. So yes,
right.
He got there that season. Yeah, at the beginning. So that summer, I believe.
So I assume that really helped out your process of not being able to play at the time, just to have like that extra mental reassurance. Because with any significant injury like that, it's going to really deter your brain to just be like kind of depressed a little bit. Like,
honestly, bro. Honestly, because what people don't realize is like, yes, we're athletes. Yeah, we're collegiate athletes. But at the end of the day, like, we're still kids, bro. Like some of these dudes get up here and they're still 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and 19 years old is still young. You see what I'm saying? So when you have the game taken from you, especially when you're so passionate about it, and it's a lot of guys. If you're going to the collegiate level, you got to be right. So, but you take something that you've been doing your whole life, almost as if I would say taken for granted because you wake up every day and you do it until that day you wake up and you're like, I can't do it today because I'm hurt, or I got this going on, or I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when you start to realize, like, dang, like I miss it. Like, and so yes, like a lot of those guys, like I was fortunate enough not to have any major injuries as far as like ligaments and stuff. I mean, because no knee problems is, I'm thankful for that. But I had my roommate my freshman year had a knee problem. We had a couple good running backs, great running backs actually, with knee problems, back-to-back years. And that's just tough on me, man. It's tough.
That was a year, what? Furby from Innsworth, right? Wasn't he one of the running backs when you were a freshman?
Yes, Big Furby was up there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, my brain, I got the history bank up in here. I'm working.
That's what I'm saying. I love it, man. I love it that you're tied into all the guys from the city, man. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's a Nashville-based podcast, the Nick Frazier podcast. I got to be repping the city. I mean, that's the main thing I really want to do is just kind of – because if you look at it right now in the NFL, in the Super Bowl, you got a lot of guys from Tennessee for the most part. You got Ramsey, and people don't realize this. T. Higgins, he's from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. That's out east. Yeah, that's out near the Chattanooga area, I think, in between.
And then Van Jefferson.
Yep, he's from Ravenwood, right?
Yeah.
They
got Van, and then they have who's the other person on the Rams? They have one more person from Nashville.
Isn't he on the defensive side?
I'm trying. I just drew a blank. I know who it is. Whoever it is, I'm sorry. Just tell me, hey, man, come on, how you forget me, bro? But I was literally just talking about it the other day.
I'm gonna be honest. There's a guy from Western on the Rams. He's a tight end, Higbee. Yeah. Okay.
Big Higbee. Yeah, I'm tied into the tops now.
Yep. I was going to say, yeah, no, there are a sufficient amount of people that are playing athletes that are playing in the Super Bowl. I know there is also a player from Chattanooga, if I'm not mistaken, a mock. He's a lineman, I think either for the Rams or the Bengals, one of the two. And then there's a coach for sure from the Rams that is from the Mocks. So there's a lot of Tennessee ties in the Super Bowl.
It's crazy when you get into the football world, how much stuff can transfer over from different parts of the map. You know what I'm saying? Because I talk to people and they're like, hey, coach such and such, or do you know such and such? I play with him here or there. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, wow, like it's crazy. It's beautiful how it all ties in and you can just meet new people through that process.
Exactly. And, let's just kind of skip between year 5 to year 6, which is the year you just finished, because you had a very good season. We started off with this podcast talking about year 1 and mentioning that if you're not in the right gap contain, somebody could crib it for 40, easy. Now, going into this season, you could easily, because I watched all your games, because at MTSU where I was at this past semester, we did a show called Blue Raider Extra Point. Obviously, Blue Raider, yada, whatever. But I still, low key in my heart, I was repping my boy Germ. I even gave you a shout out on the show. I was like, hey, I got to rep my boy Germ. So, but yeah, anyways, I was looking into the preseason and I was like, what teams really stand out to me? And, I was looking on Pro Football Focus because they give out grades for people and stuff. And I was like, well, MTSU is always going to have that type of team where they have a 2 quarterback set. They got a running type quarterback.
They always have, bro. They've always have athletic quarterbacks. Gosh.
They went through 4 QBs this past season, and they went to a string freshman. And he was
I can't imagine, because I'll say one thing for college that I did realize, and it made me, and I'm going to say this and then everybody will take it like, oh, no, duh, but I had it front hand experience that if you have a good quarterback, that saves you from so much, literally that saves you from so much. So
it's crazy you say that, because you just said people can be like, oh, that's obvious. Well, some people still don't realize who your quarterback
was. You know what I'm saying?
And so that's why
why I was able to, that's why I said that, because me as a football player, it even took, I thought, I was like, yeah, I mean, you got to have good players in general. But I mean, quarterback is one of those positions that you definitely need a guy if you want to be a good team.
Yeah. And looking at the stats on Western Kentucky's defensive side, y'all were lights out, consistently through the year. And
Yeah.
it only seemed to have happened against UTSA, which I going back to what I said about being on that show at Murfreesboro, looking at preseason teams, I kid you not, looking at the roster, I saw Zappy and Stearns and then Stearns' brother, and then y'all brought in Zach Kinley, right? The OC. They all came from Houston
All
Baptist.
from Houston Baptist. Yeah.
And I was
Ben. And
yeah,
Ben.
and
Oh, we
Ben.
got another one.
Yeah, I forgot about him. And I was looking at the roster. I was like, wait a minute. Western's kind of piecing together a team real quick. Hold on. Because Kinley was the OC for or quarterback coach for Mahomes. I was like, wait a minute. This is he's got something.
That was a fact to me coming in too, you know. And so when we were getting all these guys, you know, all Zap, the Stearns brothers, Ben, Coach Kit, like I was just hoping, you know, hoping for the best. I mean, I knew they were gonna come, you know, ready, but to be honest, come in to expect this. I mean, to come in and Zap breaks Joe Burrow's record, like I wasn't expecting that. I was hoping, and that's what I was hoping for, you know, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I was not expecting that. And dude, honestly, it didn't happen to a better, you know, more fiery person than Zappy and Stearns too. I mean, great competitors, bro. Great competitors. It was going into the spring, I was unsure, and then I think it was about the third week where I was on the side, and you know, since I was an older guy, I wasn't out there as much, so now I could just sit back and rest, and I'm just watching him and the offense, and it was just like he just had stuff so in control. I was like, yeah, boys, we got us one. We got us one. We got us one.
I mean, looking through the preseason, like I was looking at numbers and stuff, just the passing yards, and like Zappy and Stearns, their numbers at Houston Baptist, I was like, oh my God, like 3,800 yards in a season. And this is only as a freshman. And then he didn't play for his sophomore season or got redshirted or something, came back another 3,900. I was like,
and you see that same experience of, you know, starting, you know, having success early, waiting it out, you know, a flunk in the middle, don't know what to, but a little flunk in the middle, and then he stayed with it and came back. And I mean, any player that can do that is great player.
Yeah, no kidding. And that was one of the people that was on my, like, you know, hidden gems list. Like on my podcast, I haven't really made it public, but I'm not no scout, Jerm. You know that I'm not no scout, but I've played football. I have a little list every now and then of team or players, because, you know, going through Conference USA, being on that show, I had to really delve into like,
and really,
it was like I had to turn back the clock, watching film again. I was like, is this high school all over? I'm watching film, watching running backs do this, that, wide receivers running routes like this. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I like Zachary Franklin out of UTSA, good wide receiver. I like Sincere McCormick, running back out of UTSA. I was like, I like Zappy from Western. I haven't seen him play that much. Pulled up some Houston Baptist like highlights. His main target was Stearns, and like there is something to be said about a QB and a wide receiver connection. Am I right or wrong?
It goes a long way, bro. It goes a long way. And Zap tore up a few CUSA teams that year that you're talking about. So we kind of had an idea. I was like, okay, he's, you know, North Texas. Who else? I forgot the other teams they played over there, but they played some Conference USA teams, and I was like, he lit them up. So yeah, I mean, he belongs.
And then obviously bringing them all to Western, and y'all end up just tearing it. And like, this is the thing that blew me away, that I knew y'all were legit contenders for like Conference USA title, was that when y'all went against Power 5 teams, like, is Army Power 5? They consider Power 5, right? Or I mean, just kind of the higher
they're
tier.
Independent. Yeah, they're independent. But that Army team they had this year was a great, you know, that was one of the better Army teams they've had offenses in a while. I mean, they had they had legit weapons that this year on their offense. So
I have to ask.
It was fun.
It's the inside joke between me and you. Well, more inside, not joke really, but going up against that triple option offense, did it flashback memories at all?
it did, but it didn't, bro, because like their style was kind of different than ours. They're more, you know, a lot more cutting and, you know, this and that and real deal, you know, under centers, fullback, where we kind of had that, you know, mix, Cam Newton, Nick Marshall mixed to it of the options. So it was definitely, and I'll say this though, and this is an outside joke for everyone. I'm glad I never have to play that again in my life. Thank you, God. That because I mean, oh my gosh, bro. Like if
It'll weigh
any,
you down.
yeah, bro. It was crazy. And you know what? It was a little psyche going into it because that was like I told you, that was the team that I got hurt against. So literally going into the game, everybody was like, hey man, you know, like going into the week, and they were like, you see we play Army this year, like haha, that was a joke to them. I'm like, ha ha ha.
Yeah. Hey, just wait until
So
he pops off. And you did. You had a really good game.
Yeah, it was a good game, bro. I had a fun recovery. I mean, the defense stayed in it. I was able to get a late TFL to try to spark a comeback and get the win. I feel like definitely 5 more minutes in that game, probably even 3 with our offense. I mean, we could have, you know, got to stop and ended up winning that game. And that was the problem for us a lot at the beginning of the year was, you know, being this close. I mean, to winning. And I think defensively, we had to come together as a unit because, you know, with the transfer portal, we got a lot of good guys, but it wasn't, you know, that same cohesiveness, you know, the same mindset from all around. And especially defense, you have to be in communication from top down, from bottom up. I mean, it goes both ways. Pass rush coverage goes hand in hand. So, we had a meeting. We actually had a lot of people don't notice. We had a meeting, a players only meeting in the season. I believe it was after the Indiana game, after we lost to Indiana, because we felt like that was another game.
That was a 3-point game.
Yeah, that was another game that we should have won. Like we know we should have won, and we were just trying to find out. The seniors of the team were trying to find out ways that we could come together, and we don't want to be in these woulda, shoulda, coulda situations anymore. We want to be in a situation where that's what we did. Like, that's us. And so the Army, Indiana, even the first UTSA game was really an eye-opener to me because I told these guys, I was like, I've been here 5, this is my 6th year, and I've never played UTSA. So I have no idea, you know, what to expect. And that team they had this year was a really good team. I mean, they had the quarterback was good, Frank, and the running back, Sincere, was good. And they had some big receivers and some burners on the outside that made their offense very, very dangerous. And they had some guys on defense as well. And so that was after that game, bro, they came in and hung up 50 on us. And like, I've been here for a long time. There's not a lot of teams, no matter what conference they came from, that came in to the house and outperformed us like that on offense. And it was frustrating to me, super frustrating. And so in practice that next week, I don't know what it was, bro. I just didn't feel like, you know, we had our head in the game defensive. Like we always, but that's the thing I loved about us. WKU defense always got that little chip, that little nasty little streak to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to have the mental piece to it to be able to stay focused, to do your job, and to make sure everything goes right. And we had that chip, but we didn't have that focus and that understanding of the defense and stuff like that. And so that player only meeting, I think it really helped us turn around the season, and we were able to start that win streak and get to the conference championship based upon that.
It's interesting you say that though, Jerm, because I kid you not, probably probably like 1 or 2 weeks after you're mentioning that player meeting, because it was after the Indiana game, correct?
It was so.
Or I'm sorry. The UTSA game, excuse me.
I believe so. I think that was the last loss we had for a while. So yeah,
that's where I was going with it. I'm sorry. So after that game,
but they were all, you know, back to back to, like, they were literally all in a row. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Because I was looking at some numbers when I was, you know, doing the show, and I was like, oh my God, the DBs are like, they're leading Conference USA in turnover margins and interceptions. Like, this defense is starting to really click, like the back of the season. And when that happened, bro, we turned from a good team to a great team. I mean, it started to get, and with that offense and with the defense coming up and giving that offense more opportunities, not just, you know, oh, we're just going to sit up here and, you know, we're going to try to hold the team to, you know, this amount of points. No, we wanted to take that ball and give it to our offense. And that was the change we needed, bro. I mean, that was fun to be a part, honestly. Like it was amazing. Statistically, it wasn't my best career in my career, but it was just amazing. Like just being out there and just seeing so many guys make plays.
And, that's the best thing about it, because I'm about to ask you this question here, is the fact that being in an offense in a team just like that, where you don't have to solely rely on your defense to really be the key factor of why your guys' team needs to win every week in and week out. Yes, you need to bring your A game performance every week, but you don't have to solely be out there majority of the time of possession. You know what I mean? Like it's good to be able to sit back and like, oh, we have the offense that we can kind of rely on, like you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, and honestly, it was kind of a different change for me, because if you think about it, like you mentioned, the years prior to this year, we my first year up here, we had success, but then you said we kind of dwindled a little bit, and so when the offense kind of dwindled a little bit, the defense stepped their game up, and so honestly, the 2 to 3 years before this, I would say WKU was, if anything, more of a defensive school. Like, defense is the way we're going to win. But this past year it had kind of changed. You got offense out there scoring 50 points.
I mean, and look at
like you said,
defense,
and so it was a change for me, because like being a defensive guy, being a football guy, you want to be the head honcho. That's the thing. Every good Division I football player wants to be that alpha dog, that alpha male. And so, hearing, all the news about the offense and the jazz about the offense, that was frustrating to me, because I'm like, yeah, offense, but I'm a defensive guy. We've been here, Western we ain't giving up over 20, something points. And we're doing that this year. And so that, and not just myself, but the other leaders, that's been around, D'Angelo Malone, Antoine Kincaid, all the other old heads that were out there, they felt the same way. We're a defensive school. And so that chip, along with that good leadership, and that we were able to turn it around. And just like I said, man, those two together were just unstoppable.
Man, you mentioned Malone, man. He was all over the field this year. He was tearing it up.
Monster. Like, I have a list of guys that, like, if I could play with them for the rest of if I had to choose a team, of guys, like all college team, Malone would definitely be on there, bro. I mean, good dude, bro. But he works his ass off like every day, and his motor's high. High. He pushes me even more. Like, I thought I had a high motor for an interior guy. I'll see him go run, from the backside, chase a guy down 20, 30 yards down the field. I'm like, well, dang, he ain't the only one that can do that. Let me go try to, do something. You know what I'm saying? Just an inside competitiveness, but he's also just a humble dude, and really just a hard, like, he's somebody easy to root for, bro.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not? I mean, from what it sounds like, from what you're telling me, he's just a well-rounded guy, which obviously he probably is. Just the fact that he's able to do what you do and translate his actions.
You see what I'm saying?
It's something like that and I guess this kind of relates to the point I was making with Rob earlier, is that you're able to make this bond with your brothers in the locker room and the brotherhood that's there, and just be able to like bounce off it, like the energy bounces off of it to translate onto the field,
Yeah, because these are relationships you make, and at the end of the day, like lifelong relationships you're gonna have after football. I still call and talk to some of my football guys that were on the team when they were still here, like almost every day, every other day, just catching up, just talking to each other and stuff like that.
Exactly. Well, I want to retract a little bit, talk a little bit more about y'all's previous season, because we talked a little bit earlier about those games where it would be a little iffy, like 1 to 2 points you guys lose by, with the Army game, the Indiana game, and the game I really loved watching, like personally, was when y'all played Michigan State at Michigan State. Like, the fight in y'all's team that game was unbelievable.
And you know what? That was one of my personally my favorite games of the season, because, man, I don't know, maybe I should have went to the Big Ten, man, because every time I play the Big Ten, I bring my A game, dog.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you're knocking them down.
But, man, like that was just another great atmosphere. Now, their fans weren't as nice as the Wisconsin fans. I'll have to say that.
I saw some stuff on social media about that one.
Yeah. But no, man, the game, I mean, Big Ten caliber guys, huge guys, and then they had Kenneth Walker. Yeah. I mean, that dude was legit. And so we were, able to get after him and the other running backs a little bit defensively, and it was fun, bro. And we got down. And you know what? The worst thing about that game, the first touchdown they scored, I wasn't even able to go out. It was a punt return. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting right there looking, and I'm like, dang it. I mean, at least if they're going to score, 6 points, at least score it on me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to be the one to set the tone,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of a bummer. But like you said, like, one thing I credit this team this past year for is, like, our grit and just our determination and dedication to stay the course, even when it's not looking good. Because I would say the year before 2020 season, we started off pretty much the same thing. We started off on a bad note, 1-something. And I feel like that year, that team was just, it was COVID going on and all this other different factors. And guys just weren't as, I'm not going to say bought in, but
they just weren't there mentally a little.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just there mentally, like, to fight through that. And this year we started off, we beat a very good FCS team and UT Martin, who had a great season. And then have those 3, tough losses in a row like that. I mean, we could have easily been like, oh, we're 1-3 or 1-4, whatever we were. We're not going to do anything. And we were like, hell no, we know we have a good team. We know we have the players. Let's focus in even more and get this thing turned around. And so just like dedication to every single player on that team last year, y'all boys, we did it, man.
Exactly.
For real. Yeah, like, because the year before was – oh, no, you good. Yeah, the year before was just example of how it could go the other way. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. And, like, looking at y'all's team overall, and I know I've said this already, but looking at the overall record, y'all should have just been a 2-loss team, in my opinion. Like, if y'all win against
Indiana, what I'm saying?
And you win against Army, because those were very close games. Y'all were down to Army for a good bit, and Zab did his thing and started just tossing up dimes and like,
And the defense. But the thing within those games was the defense started off bad, but at the end of the day, we kept fighting and kept getting better. And Coach Crum's a genius. So we any halftime adjustments or anything, we're going to get it fixed. We just have to play our brand of football and just make the plays there when they presented themselves.
Give me a little bit of context for your position coaches, if you might, because the way that they've been able to produce just so much talent off of this defense to the next level, it blows my mind, man. Give me a little context behind them.
So we actually had a few coaching changes on the defensive side ourselves going into this year. We lost our prior defensive coordinator, Coach White. He had went to South Carolina to be their defensive coordinator. They had won their bowl game. They had a good year this year. And then I lost my prize possession, Coach Martin, my position coach. And man, I credit Coach Martin so much for my career, because he was the guy, even though he was the initial guy to recruit me. Coach Don Dunn was the one who found me down in Nashville, came down to Ryan, seen a couple games. So thank you, Coach Dunn and Coach Brown, for that. But I'd say definitely Coach Martin was the guy that really helped me understand the position and understand the game a little bit more, to the point where I was able to see how to be a good player and excel in that. And so he had went down to UCF this past season with Gus Malzahn to be the defensive tackles coach down there. And but I mean, the coaches I've had since I've been here have been, amazing. Western's campus is beautiful. Team is very family oriented, man. The players are family oriented. I mean, it's like a family, bro. Like, for real. Like, so I would say, definitely Coach Martin. And then this past year, oh my God, Coach Baker, man. Coach Baker, man. I can't say enough about Coach Baker, man. He had the D tackles and the ends this year.
Really?
And so, that's a tall task to ask.
That's a heavy load,
especially on such a short notice.
Yeah.
And he handled that. I mean, with the season we had, he was able to handle it. So
Yeah, it definitely reflected well on his resume for sure. Now, you mentioned, the bonding between one another and coaches and players. What was that like off the field, like going into preseason, like you having a lot of new faces? We kind of touched on it a little bit previously, but I want to get a little bit more into it because
yeah.
what is that like? You have a lot of transfers coming in.
Yeah.
What was the bonding like? How did that
And
gel?
so I feel like that was the biggest difference to start the season is we didn't have that same camaraderie and which I think, don't get me wrong at all. I think we were a team in the summer doing workouts. Like I was looking at it and I was like, this is gonna be a great team. Like,
Right.
But it having those years of experience opposed to months, you can definitely tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? So but I mean, every guy that we had come in, Bo Wilson, Cam, there was the 2 offensive linemen. I mean, they came in and gelled with our guys perfectly. The wide receivers came in. Even we had a wide receiver that wasn't from Houston Baptist, Davis, that transferred from Oregon, came in and had a great year. So it was just for me, on the defensive side, we had Khalif and Miguel and a bunch of other guys. But I think Big Broderick, DTs, I can't forget about Big Brod. But I think what was amazing was those guys didn't come in with their own agenda. Like some guys were coming from smaller schools, some guys were coming from bigger schools. But the thing was that no guy came in thinking they were too better than the team.
Right.
And
you're that 5-star guy. Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so, and another thing, Miguel came from Oklahoma. The other 2 guys from Oregon, like they didn't come down like, oh, this is a little Western. Like they came in, they were humble. They all worked, like every single one of them. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the big piece that I think that helped us is every guy coming in and work. But I guess that's the foundation that we set, those years prior. And so
yeah. And that bond kind of carried on throughout the season because
yeah. And I would say this, the more the season went on, the stronger the bond got. I feel like prior years we had already had that bond and connection that it couldn't have got any better just because it was already established. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But through the year, I think we were establishing that bond, that identity, offensively and defensively, and everybody was understanding their role, and that was able to just make the perfect monster.
Exactly. And we already talked about UTSA once, but you guys played them twice. You played them in the conference championship. Now I really want to delve into this because the first time, and the phrase is, it's hard to beat a team twice. It really is.
Yes.
But the first time y'all played each other, you even said it yourself, they put up 50 on y'all, and you were kind of shocked a little bit. The fact that you never played them before and just you didn't know what to expect. They're a really good team. But going into the conference championship, it was almost like a home game for them. It was in San Antonio. Like I don't want to say the odds were against you guys, but
they were. Yeah, it was at their place. It was at their place. Bro, they got a dome, and so that was my first time playing in a dome. And so another thing, like I didn't know what to expect. That thing was loud, packed. They sold out. I mean, beautiful, beautiful atmosphere. Like literally, like Friday night lights atmosphere to me. Like I was like, bro, when I'm running out of the tunnel and they were blue, I'm like, dang, like this is dope. Like this is tight. Like this is what we wanted. And so, oh man, I swear, man, I knew we were gonna win that game that day. Like they honestly, if we played them 8 more times, I feel like we would win 8 games in a row. But just unfortunately, that was the day I broke my arm, man. So man.
Give me a little gist about that. Like I saw the play and it just, you were holding your arm the whole way and like they zoomed in on you, the camera, like the broadcast, like, well, Jeremy Darvin's going off to the locker room. I was like, dang, not my guy, Derm. He was going to pop off this game.
Yeah, bro.
You were stuffing the hole automatically, like already. The first 3 plays.
Bro, so like, I don't know what, like just going into the game, like first off, just my whole career there, has been amazing, been very appreciative of everything. And then me knowing that this is one of my last games here at Western. And then on top of that, it was a championship game. I mean, who's not going to go all out in a championship game? So it was just just so much emotion just stacked. And I had in my mind that I don't care what goes on today. This was going to be my best brand of football I played today. And that's my motto going in every week is don't care what you did last week. Like you film, you are what you are on film. So like, this is another opportunity. And my goal going into that game, I wanted to be the MVP of that game, bro. Like that was I knew for us to be successful, we had to win up front. And I feel like last game we didn't get dominated up front, but we weren't able to make those same amount of plays that we do. They did a great job of scheming us up defensively. I mean, our defense, and hitting our weaknesses and things like that. And so we as a team and as a unit, it's crazy. And another reason I say it was like a movie, because literally our whole year, our motto was to get back to that game. We were like, we're going to see these guys again. If they do what they're supposed to, we're going to see these guys again if they're really, as good as they just showed us today.
Right.
And so we got back to that chance, and I was literally like jaw set. And one thing was that had me extra fired up is because, like I said, that next week in practice, and the guys will tell you, but so we're in the practice the next week, and we got, guys just, doing little silly stuff. They weren't goofing around anything, but just at practice, just doing things, a team shouldn't be doing. We just gave up 50 points and lost. And granted, we scored 48, but we gave up 50. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But defensively, I was just like, I've never been a part of that. And I didn't want that to be the norm. So I think we had a few DBs trying to fight the receivers, and I just go off. I'm like, yo, tripping. Like, y'all out here fighting. We just gave up 50. Like, we need to be locked the fuck in. Like, we got to win. Like, da-da-da-da-da. Just going off, bro. And so all of that just was built up into that game. And so, like you said, bro, I was able to get to a good start. I almost had a sack, like one of the first possessions. He got outside, no contain. I had a TFL already. Like, I felt that was the best I felt all season going into a game too. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be it. So literally I strike the guy, and like, I got him locked out, and I look in the hole. And when I looked in the hole, I see the run of it. So naturally I do what I always do. I just stick my arm out, trying to make a tackle. Well, when I stuck my arm out, the safety came down and derailed, like killed my arm. They tried to kill him, but just smashed my arm in between the process. And like, soon as it got hit, I heard a pop, but I didn't think, my freaking arm was going to be broken. I'm thinking this, I've been having a little shoulder problems because I fell on it. So I'm thinking this shoulder. And so I get on the ground, like you said, I'm grabbing my arm, and I'm just like feeling it. Just something just doesn't, feel right. Like, it's not alarming to where, I'm like in excruciating pain at the time, but it's just something just didn't feel right. So I get over there, and she grabs my arm, and she's, our trainer Jess, she's working on me and stuff, and I couldn't make a fist. I couldn't bend my hand. Like, I was trying to bend my fingers, and like literally, like, they were just shaking. Like, that was the farthest they can go. And so she grabbed my arm and like gave it like a little tilt like that, and we heard like a piece. And that's when she told me, she was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and get an X-ray." And bro, that was probably the most. That was just heartbreaking, bro.
A deflating moment.
Yeah, like very like, and we talked about it earlier, like how it could be almost depressing. Like that definitely was one of the low, like, because at the time I'm just like, we're in a championship, like the championship, and my last year playing here, and I break my freaking arm. Like, what are the odds? Like, I was sick. So and then I was in the locker room the whole time because they were just trying to, checking me out, making sure I was okay. Then I had to get showered up. They advised me to get showered up before the rest of the team get in there, just so I can have space to, to operate and stuff. Because I just found out I got my arm broken. But man, I just tried to keep my spirits as high as I could for those guys, man. They came in the locker room. I seen some of the guys. Obviously, I mean, it's emotional. I broke down. I cried, bro. It was like losing a dog or something. Almost like, bro, it was really that. Like, it was that much emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to get myself together and go out and, watch them finish the game. So when I went out, I basically missed the whole game of watching it.
Yeah.
until I think I came out about sometime in the third quarter, and that's when I was finally able to start watching the game again. And I go out, and we were down a lot of points, and it was looking like, beginning of the year, and I was like, come on, y'all. And we start to turn around, we start to come back, and we couldn't get it done, man. But I know, not even I tell myself, I know for a fact that if I was able to finish that game, man,
y'all win that game.
I know
I promise
it's
you
going to be a
that.
different outcome. Yeah. And so that was the hardest part for me. It was dealing with that.
So, like, I guess the best way to put it is, now that you're healthy, now that the season has come to a close, you're kind of moving on to your next chapter. What have you done to make sure that you're the best Jeremy Darvin, the best product you can put for your pro day coming up?
Bro, so and that's the thing. Like, my main thing is, like, I love the game of football, and I don't want it to end. I'll play till I'm 60 if I could, but obviously that's not realistic. But I'm ensuring, like, whatever I can do to make sure that I'm ready. Like, that's a job interview for us,
Yeah.
And that's the biggest one of my life, to be honest. And so I'm just up here right now. I'm actually in Bowling Green now, just up here just training, bro, and just lifting here with our staff, our training staff, and rehabbing as well, trying to get that arm back, man. I'm interested to see what that 225 test is going to be like, because that's what I'm bummed out about, because the magic number I had in my head was somewhere I just want to touch 30, and then I think the most I feel like I could have did was maybe like mid 30s,
Yeah.
But I just broke my arm, and so I'm just like, So
how much are you post-op right now? Like, after the,
yeah.
How many months has it been?
So let's see.
Right?
It was in December. Yeah. So I'm about a month or two, about a month and a half, about 2 out. Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking pretty decent then. Good. So you're getting a good.
I had surgery.
Yo, so you had okay.
Yeah. So bro. So I had broke my my radius, and so it was different, because usually when you break your radius, you break it from trying to catch a fall, and it snaps like up here, like higher. Yeah. Where mine's is from a crazy injury, and you can see the scar a little bit. It's kind of higher up the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was different from them. They were like, usually you break it, it's down here. And so they didn't do nothing but just, kind of replace, because it was displaced a little bit. So they replaced it and then put a little metal rod and some screws in there just to help it heal faster and better and stuff like that. So,
have you been able to test it on the bench yet, or no?
I have not. So I have just been getting back the range of motion is the biggest thing, bro, because gosh, like, when I had finally got out of my cast, like, bending my arm, like, literally it was like, you have that thing like this for so long.
Yeah.
So trying to move that arm was probably the hardest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just now got to this point where I can
get up
it all the way back, and I still feel a little tightness in the elbow area still. So it's just something I'm still working on. Trying to get better.
Exactly. Hey, if there's anybody you got to talk to about broken arms, you're looking at the right guy. Hey, I'm
gonna ask for a few tips when we get off the podcast.
I broke both arms twice.
What?
I swear,
bro. Now we gotta talk about that.
I swear, man. All right, when I was 6, I fell off the monkey bars. Just stupid me being a kid, right? The next one, I was in I think first grade. So from kindergarten all the way up to about 4th or 5th grade, I broke a bone every summer.
The hell out.
I swear.
We should have told Miss Frazier to keep you locked in the house for the whole.
Hey, I mean, I just love to get. I was about that action. I was about that action, boss. I was about it.
Little scrappy, yo. He's with it, man. That's what I loved about it. You were with it, like. When it was time, it's time to go. It's time to go to war. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, when we get into scout team, I was like, well, shit, I got no shot at playing on Friday for some damn reason. I mean, I played special teams. I was fine with it. But I always joke about it with Jark and them on the pod. I'm like, man, there I was, 4th string back there. But you know what? I did toting the ball in scout team. I remember there was one time Jawan was playing, like, I think safety or corner or something, playing the nickel, I think. I think it was in the nickel. It might have been straight up just corner. But anyways, it was a toss out to the right, and it was still when we were in that wing tee, and I was down
Yeah.
there 3-point stance. I got up, I started toting it, and I started running. Jawan wrapped me up. He's like trying to strip the ball. He goes, "Damn, I can't get the ball out of you." I'm like, "Hey, nobody's getting this ball out of me."
Yeah.
Okay? Scout team is Friday night for me.
Yeah.
That and JV. It was my Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, so have you reached out to Jawan recently just to kind of for preparation and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, bro. So that's great that you said that, because I actually got a list of guys just that I'm going to reach out to just to see, the process, just to see what the process is going to be like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to walk in there blind. Like, so I've got a bunch of ex players here. We got that I'm going to reach out to and see, just try to just get as much information, advice, helpful tips, anything that could help me to put me in the best situation to continue my career. So, but now I haven't talked to one. Yeah, he was actually, Vegas' birthday just passed, and they were down in Knoxville. He came down to Knoxville together. I was mad I couldn't get up there, man. But I'm definitely gonna hit up everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, good. I'm glad that you're healing good enough, because I was like I said, I watched from afar. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so I was like, man, I hope Germ's doing all right. Cause like personally, I think of a lot of people every now and then, like, cause when I saw your game in December, it was around Christmas time. I was like, dang, he just really broke his arm like that. Like, hopefully he'll heal up quick and be ready for pro day. Like, no, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But you will. You'll be ready.
And so and literally when I broke it, like I was like, I'm automatic, like my season's over, here. That was my first question. It's like, am I gonna be, straight for pro day? Am I gonna be okay from pro day? Like, just trying to find out the timetable of things and see how is that gonna work out. So honestly, it may work out perfectly to where, like, when pro day hits, in which our pro day is March 31st.
Right.
When pro day hits, I'll be perfect time and like perfectly healed. So it worked out for the best. I guess, like everything, man, I just got to do my part, just stay down and keep working.
Stay the course, man. Stay the course. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Well, Jeremy, is there anything I'm forgetting, man? Am I missing anything?
And is there anything that I want to mention, man?
I was about to leave the floor open for you before we go to the next segment. That's a traditional thing on the Nick Frazier podcast, but this is your time, real quick. What am I missing? Is there anything you do in the community besides football that you give back, kind of deal, or what? In Nashville, Bowling Green? Because I know you're a big advocate of being a coach. People have told me that's one thing that you are good at, is being.
Yeah. Oh no, that's 100%. So I'm definitely getting into coaching when I'm done playing. I'm trying to figure out if I'm doing high school or college. It's funny that you said that. Our coaches are trying to get me to come GA for us, whenever my time is done with, my process and stuff like that. And then, and Coach Rector, actually, I've been in contact with Coach Rector, just trying to get back down at Ryan as well. So it's looking pretty good for me, bro. When I get ready to move on to that next level, I just want to, my main thing is just getting back to the youth and staying within the game, bro. Like, I love the game so much. Like, if I can't physically play it, I feel like I can teach it and teach it very well. I just understand it. And I'm a great teacher as well. That was another thing that I was actually looking into teaching. That was my major, starting off in school. And so it's just I have a rare ability just to reach people and get them to comprehend and understand things. And it comes even easier with football. That's just something I do every day. So that's definitely something I want to do. And I've had so much help and assistants, families, friends, coaches, teammates, that I just want to give that to the next kid who's trying to do the same thing I am.
Exactly, man. Well, I love to hear that. Hey, listen, people that don't know Jeremy Darvin, which you probably do by now after listening to this podcast, this is one of the most humble and genuine people you'll ever meet in person. He may look kind of scary in person because he's so tall in comparison to my height. This man's a big old teddy bear. He'll shake your hand. He'll give you a big old hug. This is one of the nicest people you ever meet, man. And I'm so grateful.
I appreciate that, Nick, man.
Man, when I came in freshman year, I was like, I'm looking at, because we had those little stat boards of like all the records of bench press and squat and all that. I see Jawan's on like I think it was squad or bench, I think. And then Andrew Rectors was on there, Shoulders was on there, Max Stofers was on there. And then like
No.
when it came around to like years, I think junior or senior season, and we did that little like Irish iron or whatever it was called. I just like this man has like 6 45-pound plates on each side squatting. Like this bar is bending. Like, am I really witnessing something right now? This is insane, man. But I swear you're a freak athlete, dude. And that's why you played at the next level, because you were a different breed. You were cut from a different cloth. And still, your cloth is still cut from a different cloth. You're I'm not kidding, man. Bro. Your journey's not done with this. I promise you.
Facts. No, facts though.
You have a lot of unfinished business with football for sure. For sure, man. Well, Germ, now it's time for the regular thing on the Nick Frazier podcast. It's a thing I like to call meals with meatball. In high school when I played soccer a little bit, all my soccer buddies called me meatball because I'm Italian, and at the time I was kind of stocky. I lost a little bit of muscle mass, but they call me meatball, and so I was like, that's kind of catches a little tone there. So meals with meatball. I have 2 lists: Tennessee Tasties, Nashville Nasties. Tennessee Tasties, you give me your 3 best places you like to eat in either Nashville or Tennessee or anywhere in the U.S. Or no, and also you'll give me Nashville Nasties, which is like, you don't have to name the place you had terrible service or like bad experience, but give me a story about some crazy place you ate at or something terrible that you didn't like.
Okay. Let's see. Tennessee Tasties. Oh, and the thing is, bro, like, if I was at home right now, I would literally try. I'll be like, all right, come on, follow me. Like, I'll go. But it's not hitting my head right now exactly where to go, bro. Man, let's see. Oh, I guess I have to say this one, but it's the honest to God truth because I love it. You already know Crow's Nest. Back. Crow's Nest, Green Hills, man. Y'all swing by, man. That is my spot. One of my favorite spots. Help me get big. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's certified good weight gainer.
There you go.
Definitely, I'd say definitely Crows. Man, I'm sad about this one. I guess this will be one of my nasties. 1-2-3 Ewan Drive, bro. The original Princess got knocked down, bro, and that was sad for me. That was because, boy, anybody in the city, Princess Chicken, like,
it's the OG spot.
It. Yeah, that's it right there. So them knocking that one down, that hurt me. Let's see what we got in Bowling Green. Does Bowling Green have a?
Yeah, you got some hole in the wall restaurants. Come on, I know there's some out there.
That's what I'm saying. Gosh, man, I don't even know this restaurant name, bro.
What'd you have? You don't have to know the name. What'd you have?
But it's bro. I'm a big barbecue like dude. So if you can find any good barbecue, anybody on this podcast, you find some good barbecue in the city or something, you think I'll be there, send it to me, please, because I'm telling you, I love barbecue. But barbecue is my thing. And then also, let's see. I don't even know, bro. But I'll tell you this, one of my nasties, bro.
All right.
Burger King and Bowling Green. Oh my! I don't know what it is. Every time I try to go there, the line is long and the service is just terrible. Like,
really,
I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know if it's the time I go. I usually try to go during whenever, because I don't eat Burger King a lot, but like sometimes you just driving past a fast food place, you're like, oh, I ain't had that in a minute. Like, let's stop by there. Yeah. And literally every time I stop at the Burger King up here, it's something, bro. Like, so if you're in Bowling Green, don't go to Burger King.
So let me ask this: the best burger out there right now, what is
it? Oh my gosh! You helped me. You saved me with that one. I stay across the street from this spot called Burger and Bowl. Have you ever heard of that? Oh my gosh! Burger and Bowl has my full endorsements. Their burgers are unmatched.
Are they thick or thin?
They're thick. They're thick and they're tasty, bro. They're juicy, taste amazing, like everything. I don't know if it's fresh. I don't know if the stuff's fresh or not, but it's just the burger is just it's uncomparable to other places, man.
It hits different, doesn't it?
And their chicken sandwich is good too. My girlfriend got the chicken sandwich before, and like I'm a real big stickler on chicken sandwich because we from that. So
Yeah.
that chicken, we take that serious, and they got a pretty good chicken sandwich too, man.
Okay. Hey, it has a pretty good chicken sandwich that just got here in Nashville. Whataburger.
So the Whataburger's up and running?
Yeah, they got three of them.
I ain't been down there. So
they got three of them. Three of them up and running.
We got three?
We got one in Murfreesboro, one in Hendersonville, and I believe one somewhere in like the Nashville area.
Yeah, bro. Because I've been seeing on my Twitter that Whataburger was coming, and then I seen it came, but on my timeline it's like all I see is Whataburger's line is always so long that I can't even get it before. I'm like, dang.
It's not worth like waiting for it. I'll tell you that much. You gotta get it at a dead time. It's hard to find a dead time, but if you go, and when you do go, get the grilled chicken sandwich with the little peppers on it, and then get pepper jack cheese, and then order the spicy ketchup and put it on top, bro. Game changing.
And see, I had Whataburger before. Was it Florida? Does Florida have Whataburger down there?
Yeah. That's where I've had it.
Down in Florida. It was down in Florida. I haven't had it up here, man. I've definitely gotta get on over there.
And it hits it. I swear it does. So, Germ, those were your Tennessee Tasties, Nashville Nasties. Oh man. Oh, before I let you go, this is one thing I was going to ask you before in the podcast. Favorite player growing up. It doesn't have to be from position, but also favorite player in your position. I want to know a little bit about.
Great one. That's a great one. Because I love hearing this. This is the questions that I would ask. Some of my favorite players. So that's a great one, bro. I've had a few. Chris Johnson from the Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know how you lived in Nashville and didn't like that, man. That was one of my favorite players when he was in his heyday, bro. Like, that was just amazing, just fun to watch. Obviously, I mean, growing up, obviously Mike Vick.
Yeah.
Legend. But like Steve McNair, like grit, tough, like, because I didn't have a college team, Nick, so like I was an NFL guy my whole life. So
NFL
like
junkie, huh?
Yeah, like literally like hyped up on it. Like, so I didn't really have a lot of college players, but I'm going to name some NFL players. I mean, these were like my guys. Who else? I liked obviously in the NFL today, you got Aaron Donald. I mean, that dude's amazing. He's just, what he's done for our position is just crazy. Like, because another reason I love him is I don't think we have the same exact play style. We have,
similar
stuff, comparable stuff, but I mean, it's just the way he was able to change that position and make it like a prominent position. Now the D tackles are starting to get recognition and are starting to understand that if you have a force in the middle, that is problems. And so I big credits to AD.
Hey, and here in Nashville, man, out of Mississippi State, my guy. I mean, El Jefe, come on now.
Hold on, who that?
Jeff, Big Jeff.
What?
Yes.
Yes. That literally, like, bro, you don't understand. This year, first off, I'm glad Big Jeff's in the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Deserved the bid off the original roster. I don't understand what was going on with that, but bro, it's like, so I'll go in every that next week after the NFL and college games. We'll have cut-ups every week of sacks and TFLs of NFL teams and college guys, and so
right.
Big Jeff is definitely. I've been watching the Titans these past couple years just strictly off of his dominant performances. Terrell Casey was another guy that I looked at and I feel like I'm more of a Casey type of player, just not as Casey was a little bit thicker, but that's who I would say I remind myself of playing. Like, I like to my guys that I studied and really watched were guys that were similar to me, my size, play style, because that stuff I could imitate in my own game.
Yeah, you're able to emulate it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you feel me? So Big Jeff was definitely one of the guys I watched. He's 6'4", and I'm not 6'4", but he's just that good of a player that I watched. But guys like Aaron Donald, Poona Ford, who's some other, small guy, like any of the smaller D tackles, man. Like I'm just a student of the game, bro. I just love watching. Who else? Ramsey, obviously. I mean, I just like dog. If you're a dog, bro, in football, like you gotta respect that. That's what I just like, dog football players, humble guys, people who remind me of myself, I would say.
Yeah.
And so those are just a few of the names. I mean, bro, let's see who else we missing out here, Nick, man.
I mean, there's a good handful of players. I mean, you don't.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could literally go on for days, like just naming people.
Hey, that's just the beauty of the game, though. There's so many good athletes, There's so many good athletes.
Exactly. So my question to you is, who deserves MVP this year, NFL? That's gonna be an interesting one right there.
I've been contemplating this all year long. Like, I get it. Tom Brady's done, retired. I get it. He did lead the league in passing yards with 5,300. And you also got Aaron Rodgers, who led the league all year in just consistency and touchdown conversions and stuff. So to me, it's kind of hard because I don't know, because I'm a student of the game. I like studying and doing stuff like that, but I'm not too familiar with how to really determine the MVP of a quarterback. It's very difficult in my opinion, because and this is just me, because coming from grade school to high school, my transition was I was a fullback / running back in grade school. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit. I was toting the ball. I was low key. So the fact going into high school, I was I'm at an H-back / whatever that little wing T running back thing was. I was cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the only way I'm able to really look at a position as running back, because that's what I'm most familiar with,
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're saying with D tackle, you're able to study those type of players. For me, looking at it, I don't know how Derrick Henry didn't win it last year, and this year,
bro,
you know what I mean?
And my thing is is it the most valuable player award, or is it the quarterback award?
I agree.
And so because if that's the case, we could have a best quarterback award, and then a most valuable player. But I say even the same for the NBA is what goes into determining who's the most valuable guy, because honestly you could say a bunch of guys' name that if you take them off this team, the team wouldn't have that much success. And so that's how I look at it and how I judge it. And like you said, I mean, if you take Derrick Henry off the Titans, bro, and you can see we still had success, but it's just when he's
a
back
different
there,
game without him.
It's just come on, bro.
Yeah.
And Foreman looked great. I mean, great.
I love Dante Foreman.
And that's gonna be good for the city here in the years to come, man, because now Henry's got somebody to help him out a little bit, because I don't see, and that was what was also amazing is you don't see backs getting that much of a load. People talk, oh, he's getting this many carries, that many carries, but I'm bro, he was able to do that and stay healthy, and the whole year he did it for a year and a half straight. And so who else? Debo Samuel, that's another one of the guys that I'm you talk about MVP, this dude does everything.
Everything.
Everything, you know what I'm saying? He's
well, hey, I have to ask you, what do you think about the way he described his style of a position? He named himself as a wide back.
That makes sense.
I mean, it does, right? Sense. Make up a new position, right?
Look, and he probably said wide back because he put the team on his back. He does so much,
honestly.
but no, like a dude like that, bro. I just have so much respect for dudes who
grind and put the work in, and then are go out and are able to perform and like showcase, their grind and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree, man. So
And then,
to answer your question though, like for MVP, man, I agree, it's like a quarterback run league. It's a quarterback award.
Yeah,
so
facts,
if you get rid of the quarterback, like majority of them out of it, I think Tom Brady made a good case this year. He really did. And I'm kind of giving a little sympathy of it because he's retired, but also like Rodgers and Devontae Adams was so like,
that tandem is.
If we had to go off true talent, though, give me Cooper Kupp MVP. Honestly,
and that was literally the next person I was about to say, because what did he go for? What is he at? 2 bands now?
Yeah, he's when's the last receiver to do that? I mean, come on,
bro. And you're gonna tell you who was close, and this is to show you how good Matthew Stafford is. Megatron.
That's true.
Megatron. And so the both times it's happened, it's been through Matthew Stafford. And I told my friends before the season, I was talking to people, I was like, Matthew Stafford might be, what they needed to go to the Super. He's a great quarterback. Unfortunately, he was just not in the best situation.
That's true. Just imagine Calvin Johnson.
And that happens to God. I think that the right system is better than being on, the best team.
I agree.
As far as individualized and the best for, people's career.
I mean, it happened on Western this year. I mean, look, y'all's offense was revitalized.
Yeah, come on now.
And now you're there. So, but you know what, Germ? This was awesome. Did you like it or what?
No, this is definitely dope. Now, I definitely want to come back. You guys just let me know, man. I'm tapping in regardless. We can talk ball. We can talk whatever, man. I love this. Like, this is something I really enjoy right here.
There's going to be more people on next time. You're going to have probably Jark on. Hey, he co-hosts this majority of the time.
That's what I was saying, man. Let me get on here with Jark one time too. I'd love to come back. Just talk with y'all, man. This is dope.
Hey, we do it every other Wednesday, and I know you're pretty busy getting ready for your pro day. So after your pro day or when you got downtime, you text me and we'll get something going. Okay.
Okay, bet, bro. Bet.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening to the Nick Frazier podcast. Again, this is Jeremy Darvin, episode 1 of this NFP draft series. I wanted to start off with him because there's a lot of significance with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Jeremy, any last words?
Man, hey, appreciate you for having me, Nick, man, and y'all keep tuning in, man.
Yes, sir. Indeed. You can find this on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. And you know what? If you want to know more about the Nick Frazier podcast, in between episodes, you know where to go. Go to Instagram, type in the Nick Frazier podcast, click the follow button, share with a few friends and family, whatever. And spread the word because this podcast is only going to grow from here on out. So again, thank you. Have a good one. Peace.